Hello everybody and welcome to another Games for Dads video. We are doing another top 10. This week's top 10 is top 10 lock cards, and I'm sure this list is going to be very controversial, but we put it together. These are our top 10 lock cards, and I'm sure you've all got a different idea, so leave your comments down below on your top 10. Anyhow, let's go. Number 10 lock card. Cockatrice, the Death Darting Eye. An opponent's random card in hand locks for 3 turns. Makes our charts at number 10, 2 for 27. Can be used pretty well to really annoy your opponents. So that's number 10 in our lock cards countdown. The Cockatrice, a Life on Lands card. And a cool picture on that one as well. Okay, let's move on then to number 9 in our lock cards. The Brain, a fusion card, 3 for 36. Your cards, wherever they are, gain 23 for 2 turns, and this card locks for 2 turns. So it locks, but you get some decent points for it. 23 for 2 turns for all your cards, wherever they are. And also, on the return, an opponent's random card in hand locks next turn. So double whammy that one, really. You get some extra points. And also, it annoys your opponent by locking one of their random cards. Number 8, Mythic Loch Ness Monster. Can be used really cleverly. This card, your opponent's remaining cards in hand lock next turn. 8 for 50, so it's high cost but low power. But if used properly, it can be a really useful card. I like to use it if somebody's played 2 cards, like when they play the Lovers or something, and then you're locking up 3 of their cards. So that's the Loch Ness in at number 8. So moving on to number 7 in our countdown of lock cards. Number 7 goes to Harry Houdini, an amazing card. One of the new cards out from the history deck, the hoaxes and cons. If it's before round 5, this card locks this turn and gains 15 until played. Bit of a problem with this card is you can't even use it in an overlock because it locks at the start, so you can only really hold it. So I like it, it's a bit of fun. It reminds me of Ouroboros, but that's Harry Houdini in at number 7 in our lock cards top 10 countdown. Cool picture as well, I think. Okay, moving on to number 6. Wow, what a great card. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Probably one of the key cards if you're going to build an overlock deck. Your cards in hand gain 35 permanently, and this card locks permanently. So the key to this card is using it in an overlock deck. And if you don't know what an overlock deck is, check out our overlock video to give some tips on how to play that. But that's number 6, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Fantastic card in at number 6. Number 5. Let's move on to number 5. We have got the Devil. Another cool card if you're playing an overlock deck. The Devil, this card locks permanently, and then 4 random cards in your hand cost -2 permanently, and 4 cards in your hand gain 20 permanently. So absolutely cool card, really going to ramp up some of your other cards, but it does lock permanently, so you do need to play the Devil in an overlock deck. Great card. With the Hanging Garden of Babylon and the Devil, you can have a lot of fun with an overlock deck. So that's number 5 in our countdown. Number 4, this is a cool card in our charts at number 4, Nostradamus. This card locks for 6 turns, and then when you play it, you get 200 extra power. 5 for 0, but again, you don't really want to hold him for 6 turns, so fantastic with those other 2 cards for an overlock deck. So that's number 4, Nostradamus. And isn't he the guy that told the future? Can you work out what our top 3 is going to be? Well, let's see if you are right. So Nostradamus, number 4 in our lockdown top 10. Lockdown, lock cards. Number 3, Indigo Milkcap. On the draw, gain 25 until this is returned to your deck. And on the return, if it's on or before round 2, turn 2, a random card in both players' hand locks permanently. So you're going to lock one of yours and one of your opponent's cards permanently. And then if it's after round 2, turn 2, a random card locks this round. Again, fantastic card to use in an overlock deck, because you could, if you get it out in the right time, lock up one of their cards permanently, and if you get lucky, you're going to lock up one of their key cards. So that's the Indigo Milkcap in the charts at number 3. Number 2, Zenday Emperor, and I'm sure a lot of you would have had this little guy at number 1, but we have found a card that is better than Zenday Emperor. So Zenday the Emperor, your remaining cards in hand lock this round and gain 25 until played. So pretty decent guy. He's going to help you with an overlock deck. So you play him on his own and he will unlock all your locked cards. So that's Zenday the Emperor in at number 2 in our lock cards top 10. Not bad, eh? So who is going to be at number 1 if Zenday the Emperor is number 2? That is the question. That is the $1 million question. Anyhow, let's move on to a few honourable mentions before we get to number 1. DB Cooper, the hijacker, great story that one. This card locks for every awesome aviation card played by either player up to a maximum of 18. This card gains 10. So you could get 180 buff on this card. Great one. We've also got, Sheepy Poo. Your Chinese folklore cards in hand gain plus 20 until played, and your opponent's remaining history cards in hand lock. With all these 8 immortal cards running around, or 8 immortal decks, this is a great card to pop in your deck, really to cause a bit of devastation. So that's an honourable mention to Sheepy Poo. Another honourable mention. I think we got one more honourable mention before we get to number 1. Forbidden City. And again, I've put this one in really because of the number of 8 Immortals deck. 2 opponents' random history cards in hand lock this turn. So great, if you're trying to combat an 8 Immortals, those 2 cards, those honourable mentions, are really going to cause your opponent a lot of problems. So that's the Forbidden City, 4 for 39, so it's quite an economical card. And it's a rare limited, so pretty easy to get. An honourable mention for the Forbidden City. And for those of you that like paleontologies, Triassic, Jurassic, Extinction event is a great lock card. This card locks for 3 turns, and your paleontology cards, wherever they are, gain 10 until played. So paleontology, really powerful decks. Check out that paleontology video as well. But this card really worth putting in. So it doesn't lock your cards. It locks this card for 3 turns. Okay, here we are, number 1. Have you worked out what number 1 is? Very controversial, this one. Our number 1 goes to the Eye of the Storm. All remaining cards in both players' hands lock next turn. And why do I think that's better than Zenday the Emperor? Well, it does pretty much the same thing, except you're locking up the remaining cards of both players. Which, even though Zenday is going to give you a few extra points, this one is going to give you more points in the long run by locking up hopefully 2 of your opponent's critical cards. Messages are going crazy, you can probably hear them. Everybody's disagreeing already with me, but there we go. Eye of the Storm. I've never seen so many messages coming through. Sorry guys, we are showing this live on Twitch, but Eye of the Storm. So that's our top 10. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back with some more videos and another top 10 very soon. Bye!